Hello, everyone. Welcome to Buri English Gate. Today, we're going to proceed with our lessons about tenses. And today's tense will be about the simple past. All right. Let's first of all let's visualize the tense using sorry the time diagram, the timeline. So here we have the present, okay, and here we have past, and here we have future. So when we talk about the simple past, we talk about actions that took place in the past. So it means that we step back from the present to the past. So we talk about past actions. It means complete actions in the past. So the simple past is about actions that took place in the past. It means we talk about complete actions. For example, let's say, look at this example. Jane went to the market yesterday. Now, let's start from this example to understand what simple past is, okay? So here we're talking about, of course, this is a time expression. This is a time expression that indicates the simple past, all right? It indicates that an action took place in the past. So we talk about yesterday. So we have today. It means now, today. So, for example, today is Saturday. Yesterday, so here, yesterday, right? We talk about the day before today, yesterday. So, yesterday, what happened? Right, so we're talking about Jane. What did Jane do? All right, yesterday, Jane went to the market. So here we have the verb went, which is of course an irregular verb. We're going to see two types of verbs. So irregular verb, the simple past of verb go. So in the present, I would say I go to the market, or Jane. Let's compare this action with a present action. So we can say Jane goes to the market on, let's say, on Sundays. So here we have Jane goes, which is an action that takes place now. It takes place in the present. But yesterday, Jane, we'd say that Jane went. It means she was at the supermarket yesterday. So Jane went to the supermarket. So here we'd say Jane went to the market or to the supermarket yesterday. All right? So here the tense, we're talking about a complete action in the past. It means an action that started in the past, okay, and finished at another time in the past. So let's say that it started here, then it finished here. So it is a complete action. It has no connection with the present. So it's a complete, a finished action, right? So this is so we use the simple past to talk about finished actions or complete actions in the past, right? Let's have more examples, okay? Okay, let me. All right. Now, Robert was at home last night. All right. Another example, Brahim washed the dishes yesterday. Right? Okay, we have two examples. Of course, we're gonna see here what we look for when we talk about simple past. We look at two things, right? So the first of all, we look at the time expressions. So we say last night. Okay, so we can have like here time expressions that indicate the past, right? So we can say yesterday. Okay, we can say also last, right? So here we can say last night, also last week, why not? Last month, last year, last weekend, last anniversary, whatever, okay? And then we can also use ago. We can also use in plus date. For example, in 2020, right? As an example, right? Etc. We have a lot of expressions, time expressions we can use with the simple past. Now, let's look at here. The second thing we look at is the verb. Look at the verb. So the first example we used, we talked about an irregular. Okay, we talked about an irregular verb. Okay, let's say here verbs, an irregular verb. Okay, we said Jane went to the market, so here we use the verb go. Simple past of go is went, right? But here we have other verbs. For example, wash. This is a regular verb. Okay. What's the difference between regular and irregular? We'll see it later in this lesson, okay? Now, let's go back to our example. So here, Robert was at home. Now, if you want to say, you want to turn this into present, what would we say here? In the present simple, we say Robert, instead of was, we'd say Robert is. Okay, let's write this. Robert is at home now. Very good. So here we use the verb here, the verb is, which is the verb to be in the present. But to be in the past, we can say was, right? So I was at a cafe yesterday. I was at the hotel yesterday. I was with my friends yesterday. So here we can use the verb to be in the simple past, right? Here we have Brahim washed the dishes yesterday. So here, look at the verb washed, right? So this is, as I said, a regular verb. It's a regular, okay? We will see how to tackle or how to deal with such verbs, okay? Now, for simple past, we can use it with the verb to be. So we can say, for example, let me give you an example or two more examples, okay? So you can say, the kids were in the garden. Of course, we can use one of those on one of these expressions. We can say last night, not last night, yesterday. Okay, and um, um, there was a man in the garden last night. Very good. These are good examples. Now, let's see the verb to be. Now, when we talk about the verb to be, we can either use the form were or was. Yeah, it depends on the nature of the subject, right? So here, if we have, for example, I, subject I, or he, or she, or it, okay, definitely the verb to be, the form would be was. So we can say I was, he was, she was, it was, right? But when we have either we, you, or they, then the verb to be is going to take the form were. So we can say the kids, because we have kids plural, okay? Is plural. So we can say the kids were in the garden. So here, this is how we conjugate the verb to be in the past, right? Now, let's move on to distinguish between the two types of verbs we have. So we say that we have regular and irregular verbs. So how do we deal with those verbs in the past? It's very simple. So for regular verbs, okay, that's so simple, right? So we could say normally we have three endings. So either d, yeah, or ed, or ied, right? So when we say regular, when we use the adjective regular, it means we have certain rules that govern the use of those endings, right? Or those forms. For example, here, if you have a verb like live, okay, like, bake, all right? And here we have wash, watch, mix, miss, okay? Let's say another one, cross, another example. And here we have study, cry. Okay, let's have another one, why not? Okay, let's say play, in, okay, play. Okay, that's fine with this. Cry, satisfy, all right, carry, right. So, okay, so that's enough for as examples. Now, so if a verb ends in vowel E, then you add D, right? So we can say lived, liked, baked. Nice, okay? But if a verbs end in SH or CH or X or SS or Y, vowel plus Y, then you add ed. So we can say washed, washed, watched, mixed, missed, crossed, played. Very good, right? The last category of verbs that end with a consonant plus Y. Here, pay attention, we have to drop Y and then we add I, E, D. So studied, One more time. Cry, we have consonant plus Y, then we have to clean Y, and then we say cried. Very nice. Satisfy, nice, satisfied. And the last one, carry, carried, right? Okay. So as a matter of comparison, we compare a verb, for example, that ends with, for example, employ versus a verb that ends with a consonant plus Y. For example, as we have here, study. So here, to fully understand how we deal with the two verbs, so we have here a vowel, okay, a vowel. Okay, for those who for those who still struggle with what vowels are and what consonants are, so we have in English we have 5 vowels. We have A, E, I, O, and U. So these are the English vowels, and the consonants are the remaining alphabets or the remaining letters. So B, C, D, F, G, etc. Right? So whenever you have a verb that ends with a vowel plus Y, then it is very simple. You add an ed. So we say employed in the past, right? But when you have a verb that ends with a consonant plus Y, then you don't add an ed at the end. But before that, you have to clean or drop the Y, and then you add IED. So this is how we deal with regular verbs, okay? Right, so this is some verbs. Okay, we have some exceptions. We have some exceptions or some rules, specific rules that you have to know about. For example, let's take the verb stop. Here, we talked about the stress. So we have the syllable stop, we have a stressed syllable. So whenever a syllable is stressed, then we double the consonant. So stop would be stop. We add another consonant, and then we add ed, stopped. Okay? Submit. Submit. So here the last syllabus, the last syllable. So in this last syllable, not syllabus, the last syllable we say submit. So here, as I said, if you stress the syllable, the last syllable, put a stress in submit, met. There's a stress there. So here you have to double the T, the consonant, and then you add ed, submitter. Okay? So this is another rule that you have to take into consideration when transforming verb from simple present to simple past. Right? Now, this is right. Now let's have another example. I'd like you to use this expression ago, right? So let's clean this, right? And I want okay, we'll use this diagram, right? Now I will have this example. Jamal bought his car 2 years ago. Sorry. So Jamal bought his car for 2 years ago. Of course, bought is an irregular verb, right? For irregular verbs, this is just a reminder. So for irregular verbs, those are verbs, right, that are not governed by any kind of rule, right? So we don't have any rules. So we have predefined, let's say, meaning or form for simple past. For example, go, as we said, went, right? So we don't use any kind of rule to make the present the simple past form. We have to memorize these words. Read, read, right? Right? Um, let's say buy, as we have say here, bought, speak, spoke. So there's a list of irregular verbs if you'd like to download, right? And I will also post a link. I will attach a link to this video, so you can just click on the link and you can download that list of irregular verbs to keep it for future use. So for irregular verbs, we have a list of irregular verbs. Yeah, that it means that when you transform a verb from the infinitive to the past, we see a change that is not governed by any rule, right? So you have to memorize these words. So let's go back to our example. So here we say Jamal bought his car 2 years ago. So the expression here, 2 years ago, it means, okay, so let's say we are in 2023. This is the last the last days of 2023, right? Now 2 years ago, that means 2021, right? 2021, right? So when did Jamal buy his car? So Jamal bought his car 2 years ago, right? So here it means we have a 2 years. 2 years. So in the last 2 years, right? So it means 2 years before. Ago means before, 2 years before, right? Okay, so it's a complete action in the past. So we say Jamal bought his car 2 years ago. When did Amin visit his mother, the hospital? So Amin visited his mother in the 2 days ago, right? Let's write this example as well. Kamal visited his mother visited his mother at the hospital 3 days ago, right? So 3 days ago. So Kamal. So we have the verb visited. As you notice here, we have a regular verb because it ends with ed. And here 3 days ago. So the action took place, 3 days ago. It means let's say today, so before 3 days, okay? So he visited his mother 3 days ago, okay? Before 3 days. Now it's a complete action in the past. It means the action started in the past and finished in the past. It has no connection to the present. We'll see the difference between when you contrast simple past with present perfect. We will see the difference in meaning, right? Here, that's really nice. Okay, so for other forms of the simple past, how you form, how you turn a statement into a negative statement, how you turn a positive statement to a negative or question in the simple past. Okay. With the verb to be, of course, we have the same the same methodology, the same strategy that we use for simple present. For to be, we use the same for the simple past, right? For to be, this is very simple. So we say with the verb be, we can say, for example, he was in the stadium last week. Okay, look at this example. Now, we would like to turn this example, this sentence, into simple past. Of course, not into simple past, into a question. Okay, we'd like to make a question using the same sentence. Okay, so he was, so we have subject, and then verb was in the stadium last week. So here, what we do is that we invert the subject. So here, he, and then the verb should be put at the beginning. So we say, was he in the stadium last week? Was he in the stadium last week? Right? Was he in the stadium last week? You see now how we transformed or we changed the position of the subject and the verb. He was, then was he. Okay, this is how we deal with the verb to be in the past. Okay, that's very simple. This goes. You can apply this rule to all the subject pronouns that you have. Either it was or were. For example, you can say they. I have another example. They were happy. Now, simple past. So here we have subject which they, verb were. Okay. So simply we could say were they were they happy? Were they happy? Okay. So here we invert the subject to make a question in the simple past, right? Now, let's see now. Let's clean all this so that we have much more space. Now, with other verbs, okay, with other verbs, that's a different story, okay? That's a totally different story. Now, let's write some examples here. Jalal went to school by bus. Layla got her BA in arts last year. Okay, nice. Okay, here we will highlight the verbs which determine the action. So here, went. Okay, these are irregular verbs. So went, that's the verb go, and then got, get. Okay, so here, how we turn these into questions, that's very simple, but we have, okay, we have to contrast it with the simple past of verb to be. So we used, let's use the same example. Was he at home? Okay, was he at home? Now, with the verb to be, we invert the subject. But with other verbs, we never invert the subject. What do? We need to use an auxiliary. Okay? To assist the verb to perform its action. So here, the auxiliary we use is the verb do, auxiliary do. But we need to transform verb do into simple past. Of course, verb do is an irregular verb, so the simple past of do is did. Now, we have to use, okay, we write the auxiliary, did, okay, and then followed by the subject, of course, Jalal, and then the verb, but this time the verb takes the infinitive form. So here, did Jalal get? Very good. Did Jalal get? Sorry, did Jalal go to school by bus? Did Jalal go to school by bus? The second example, Leila got her BA in arts last year. So did, nice, Leila not go, but simple or infinitive, get, and then her BA in arts last year. So did Leila get her BA in arts last year? As you see now, when transforming sentences from positive statement to question in the simple past using other verbs like go, play, stay, etc., then you need to use an auxiliary. Okay, auxiliary we use is do, but we have to put it in the simple past before you use it with your sentence or your question. So we can say, did Jalal go to school by bus? Right? Nice. This is now we have the last form, which is the interrogative. Maybe we have to keep the same sentences. Why not? Let's keep the same sentences to save time. Okay. Now, Jalal went to school by bus, right? Now, I would say no. For example, Jalal took a taxi. Let's say that Jalal took a taxi to his school, okay? Then I would use the same auxiliary, but we have to add negation not. Okay? So we'd say Jalal, right? Simple past, right? Did, auxiliary, then plus not. Did not. Contraction, didn't, or short form. So, Jalal did not or didn't go to school by bus. He went to school by taxi, right? So he did not go to school by bus, but he went to school by taxi. The same thing. We'd say that Leila got her BA in arts last year. We'd say that Leila got her BA in English studies. So we'd say that she didn't get her BA in arts, but she got her BA in English studies. So we say Leila, and then we make use of the auxiliary, right? Did, right? Did not or didn't. the short form. So Layla didn't get her BA in arts last year. She got her she got her BA in English studies, right? So this is simply this course or this lesson is about the simple past of yeah, the simple past. So as a recap or as a review of today's lesson, so at the beginning we uh, we went through discovering the meaning of or the use of the verb, sorry, the simple past, and also um, we differentiated between regular and irregular verbs, and then we saw some exceptions. What happened to the verb sometimes if we stress, for example, the syllable and it would double the consonant. We also saw some time expressions, okay? And we say that if we have those expressions, of course, the action takes place in the past means that actions have to be transformed into simple past, okay? And also we stated the difference between statement, positive, negative, and question, and also how to deal with questions with the verb to be, and also questions with other verbs like play, stay, etc. Now, you will find attached to this video a couple of documents. We'll attach a document containing English irregular verbs so that you can download. Also a document with exercises that you can do, and then we'll have a video to correct those exercises. I hope that you like the video, the content of the video, of course. And before closing this video, I'd like you to subscribe, share this video with your friends so that they can benefit in of its content. And also, I'd like you to comment on anything you'd like me to make a video about concerning the your English growth. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.